talking to you. Hello, and welcome to the RJ Square podcast, where we invite you to join the conversation. I am Jamal, and I'm here with Jermaine and Renell, and we're your unfiltered crew, diving into life, culture, manhood, and so much more. We stream here live whenever we want, and hit that subscribe button, drop a comment, and join the conversation. Help grow the channel and build the community. I just woke up, but hey, we about to start this anyway. Let's get into it. Renell, what's good, man?
I'm well, young man. I'm well. It's good to see you. You're looking like you may need a cup of coffee, but you look good.
It's amazing how quickly I can get ready in like 10 minutes, man.
That's right.
Anyway.
Cold water, baby. Cold water.
Exactly. That's good. Professional. Oh, shit. See, I should have read that before I was about to say it. Jermaine,
okay.
What's up?
Professional meat beater here. It's a Sunday.
Sure.
What's today's date? The 28th?
I think so. Yeah.
NFL game day. Don't feel bad, Jamal. Raynell woke me up with a phone call at 11:30. Since then, I've smoked 3 cigarettes, poured myself a drink, tucked me a shower, got dressed. We're all here, ready to get it started. Let's do it.
Look at Renell being the adult in the family. I like that.
Yeah, I'm usually like yeah, exactly, right? I'm like
I don't know. It's like that Freaky Friday where we're switching bodies or something. I don't know.
I think you're rubbing off on me, brother.
Anyway, all right. So obviously we have a special guest, David, in the house. What's up, David? How you been, man?
Good. How you been?
Can't complain. We're gonna get to you in a second. I just wanted to say something to you. I didn't want you to think we were ignoring you, but we got a little housekeeping we like to do in the beginning. So who does the we haven't worked this out. Who does the social presentation?
Let professional meat beater do it.
Yeah, go ahead. Can you give our audience a rundown of where they can find us on socials?
Yes, I can. Welcome to the RJ Square podcast. For YouTube, we are at RJ Square Podcast. For Instagram, we are at RJ Squared _ podcast. For TikTok, at RJ Squared 7. For X, formerly known as Twitter, at RJ Squared Podcast. Facebook, RJ Squared Podcast. Snapchat, RJ Squared 25. And anytime I say squared, people, is simply the number 2.
All right. And let's see. I'm about to switch this up.
Oh, nice.
Oh, shit. I love it.
This is what I can do. This is what I can do in 3 minutes. So
nice.
So we have David. He is our special guest for this afternoon. I just want to give him a shout out. And David, it's been a while since well, actually, no, that's not true, because you were on as a participant a couple days ago. You had the handle Behave. Is that you?
Was that me? Might have been. I'm on so many podcasts nowadays that gets around.
Yeah, see, here's the thing. That was a simple yes or no question. But anyway, we're gonna keep moving.
Yeah, why are you acting coy?
I don't know.
No.
I don't know professionalism.
What?
Well, either way, negative or positive, we appreciate the engagement, David. If you are or aren't behaved, I think I was the first one saying, bro, that's David. But we appreciate the interaction.
Thank you.
So what's been good, man? Catch us up. What's been going on since high school?
Not much. I've been doing a lot of things, actually. I was after high school. Everybody just kind of separated and went our own ways, and I just started working a lot with my father. And then after that, I just kind of, I don't know. The background on me is I started drinking and didn't stop for a while. And then I got sober when I was about 33. And from then on, it's just been work, family, growing old. I got 2 young ones now. I got a 5 and a 7, about to be 6 and 8. Never thought I'd be the family type, but once it happened, it just kind of kicked in, and now I just kind of raise babies and pay bills. Same thing
All right.
getting old's about, ain't it?
Yeah. I think you summed it up pretty well right there. Yeah, I mean, we all have kids, right? Yeah, we do.
Yeah.
I have 2 boys, 11 and 8.
Wow.
Renell has a son who's about to. How old's your son, Renell? 11 or 12?
12.
Yeah, he's a year older than my kid. Okay, yeah. So we're all fathers here, so we understand that.
My son's a grown man, 26, out there trying to slang dick. So here we go.
That's-
Way to go, man. Way to go, Kev. Let's go.
Shout out to Kev. We love you, Kev.
Yo, grown man at that. Yeah. All right, did y'all want to jump in? I got plenty of things I could ask David, but I want to.
Yeah, I'll jump
Yeah.
in real quick. And for the audience, just to give you a little background and context, David went to Atlantic High School, Delray Beach, Florida, with us and graduated back in 1995. David, good to see you, brother. Love the Rastafarian look. It fits you.
Thank you.
What I'd like to ask you, just to kind of jump in and kind of give you a softball to get into the questions, because I've got a laundry list of questions for you, young man. If you, like, going back to Atlantic, if you had to pick one word to describe your overall experience at Atlantic High School, what would it be and why?
I guess my experience, I'd say, was rough.
Watch your hand, David, over the camera.
Oh, sorry. I guess my experience, I would say, is rough, but what I could say about it was probably the best learning experience I've ever had in life.
Okay. Could you expand on that a little bit when you say rough and best learning experience, please?
I'm sorry. Hang on, David. Before you do, Raynell, do you guys hear that background when one of us is talking? I don't hear what David is talking, but I hear this little thing in the back. Do you guys hear that?
I think it may be David's phone, because we've never heard that before. I do hear what you're saying.
Well, I hear it when you're talking. I hear it when I'm talking, but I don't hear it when David's talking. But go ahead. We're good. We're good. Sorry. Go ahead with the question. Just expand on that, David.
I guess rough is because, like, I mean, you guys all know me from high school, but I don't think any one of you remember me from my freshman year.
Okay.
You know, we started linking up around summer, freshman, sophomore year. So my freshman year was probably the worst transition I ever had. I came from a private school with sheltered, I guess you could say, a lot of sheltered kids. I mean, we had like 15, 16 in our class going through. Seeing that now, and then coming into a high school, and it was small, and then coming into a high school where it was just absolutely huge. It was rough getting to know myself, because from the private school, I was, you know, Rusty and Billabong t-shirts that didn't fit because you couldn't buy 2XL at Nomad. And then it's straight into high school with fashion, and the structure was just 100% different. So I was lost my freshman year. I'll be honest with you. I was lost. Mm-hmm. And it was a tough experience, understanding culture, understanding different people, understanding that you're not the toughest kid in the class anymore, understanding, you know, back in our day, they call it the Ebonics. So you made sure when people were saying things that you'd understand what they were saying. And it was a rough experience walking into Atlantic my freshman year. I can personally say that.
I have a question. So I understand you were sheltered to a certain extent in school. Were you also sheltered in your home life? Like, as far as the different types of kids you were around and things of that nature? Because I'm pretty sure you said your school was fairly smaller. Atlantic was larger, more diversified. Was it that case also in your home life as far as diversification? Because you're from Boynton, I believe, right?
Delray.
Hey,
Yeah.
hey, hold on a sec. Hold on a second, Jermaine. So I found the culprit. It's definitely David's phone. David, after when you're not talking, do me a favor and hit the mute button,
I
and
can
that
do it.
way.
I can do it
Okay.
for him. Yeah, don't
All
worry
right.
about it, David. I
Okay.
got you. Don't worry about it.
Okay. Thanks, Jay.
But go ahead, David.
Yes, I mean it was 100% different. From school size to class size to ethnicities to culture to everything. Everything was just completely 360 for me, or 180.
Okay. Okay. Go ahead, Ray.
All right, buddy. So, you kind of alluded to, your weight or whatever during high school in your intro there in the softball question. I want you to, this is kind of a twofold question. Can you remember a specific moment, where or maybe like a turning point where you realized, hey man, weight was making your experience different from anyone else's?
Um, it was more or less that I mean, I can't remember like a turning point. I
Mhm.
can remember the adaptation of my mind to say, okay, this is how you are different, and this is how it's gonna affect you. I can remember that mental situation that I once I realized that I was like, shit, things are gonna
Mhm.
be different. The name calling and shit is a lot better when you get to high school and you see different people that have been shooting the shit and talking jokes, cracking, and from a private school where we basically hung our groups of friends were through school. I didn't have any outside friends, because our neighborhood went to our school, and so it wasn't like there was a different crew of people. And then once they started cracking different jokes, it was, now looking at it, kind of clever. Back then, it was like, damn, you're gonna have to deal with this. I can remember that.
So let me ask you, and this is the follow-up question to that. What was your coping mechanism for that? I kind of feel, knowing you back then, that your method was comedy and being able to kind of tear down other people for their flaws or shortcomings. But that's just my take. My question to you is, what was your personal, I guess, defense mechanism or method or strategy for getting through a tough day if someone was actually attacking you for your weight?
Yeah, I mean, you hit it on the head. I learned real quick how to be fast tongue.
Mhm.
And it was, it came easy to me. I don't know how or why, but that was my defense. I'm going to get you before you get me. And if you get me, I'm going to get you worse.
Yeah.
And I don't care how deep the knife went, because I'm going to get you deeper. And that's how I learned to shut the conversation down real quick, or respect me enough not to say anything to me, and I won't say anything to you.
Interesting.
Jamal, do you have a question, sir?
Uh, yeah, I'll say something. So, David, I felt that I was the target of a lot of your animus back in the day, back in the '90s, and I'm really not sure why. Why was I a target?
Um, well, your targeting didn't really come until my end of my sophomore year, and
Mhm.
I can remember a lot of that, and it was because
Watch your hand, David.
You got to remember, it was kind of weird on my sophomore year how I would say our crew split up and met up. So you got to remember, I came with, Christian Turner. I was with Christian Turner since we were knee high. Sorry, I shouldn't say names, but I was with Christian, and my sophomore year, I started getting into hanging out with Eddie, Eddie and everything. And then we all started hanging out, and Eddie and Big Head were always like me and Turner. And then it kind of getting diverse, where I started hanging with more Eddie, and then you and Big Head were hanging with Turner, and then things started changing at that point in our lives. So it was not that you were a target of mine. It was more or less, who are you, and why am I not your friend? So I didn't really know how to deal with, I guess I could say, losing Turner as a friend and now having to start over to find new friends, because all I knew was Turner. You know what I mean? So it was a weird progression of mine to say, like, who the fuck is this kid that won't say what's up to me? Because we didn't really know each other in the beginning, you know?
Yeah.
And it was like, who is this kid that, that it was a weird point in my life right there, I would say, not knowing how to adapt now that I don't fit in at school and I'm losing my core. Like, what did I do wrong? So I took it as not a personal attack, but if you're going to be his best friend, why you don't know me? And then it became, I turned it into animosity. Like, well, fuck him. I didn't know how. And back then, you're young and everything.
Right.
You don't know how to defend that. You don't understand it enough to say, it's okay. Why don't you embrace the newcomer instead of saying, don't lose what you got. I didn't understand that. So that was a big turning point.
Wow. Well, let me take the time to say thank you so much for saying that, because when Jermaine and Renell mentioned that they wanted you on the show, and my knee jerk was like, fuck that guy. Like I didn't want you on the show for obvious reasons that we just talked about. But I got to be honest, after 18 minutes now on this podcast, learning about your transition and your struggles and what you were going through when I first came into the scene with, Big Head and Chris and Eddie, it makes a lot of sense why you would feel the way that you felt. And I'm not going to blame you for how you reacted, because like you said, we're all, hormonal kids. We don't know what we're saying or what we're doing half the time. And I'll be honest with you, I was an undiagnosed Black kid with autism who I wasn't aware of how to socialize or say what's up, or that I should say what's up. I didn't know. And that's not really an excuse. I'm just trying to give you like some backstory on my personal struggles as well. And I was actually trying to act in a way that I felt people would accept me and be my friend. So in a way, we're all kind of acting, or we're all trying to figure out who we are. And I guess there was just some casualties along the way, because I was ready to come in this episode locked and loaded and to just drill. But now
The answer made sense pretty much.
you stomped that flame out, man. I'm not even mad anymore.
He de-escalated.
Seriously, in like less than 20 minutes, I'm like, all right, fuck it. I got all my notes here. Like, fuck it. It's not even that serious. It's not even that serious. So, okay.
Well, one thing I don't want you to do is I still want you to fire back at it, because what it can do is they heard the response, but they heard my response, but they don't hear why you would feel that way. And I think that's just as important, because there are a lot of people that feel that way, that don't understand an unjustified tongue lashing that I would give you. But you got to also remember that other people can understand is when me and you were like, if we were ever alone, we would kind of laugh about certain things together.
That's true.
But
That's
then
true.
when we were in the crew, and now I see you as a targeted new funny guy and friend, I hold that down.
Yeah. You're overstepping. Yeah, I
Yeah.
got you.
So
I
it was
got
Well, the other thing though, Jamal and David, I know Jamal, you felt like it was just you, but I mean, he would attack me all the time too, like and viciously. So I mean, I I just think it was his mechanism, and that's just who he was back then, right? Just kind of immediate attacks. If you just said one little thing to maybe kind of in a negative connotation, then he would immediately react with a body blow and then an uppercut.
But I think this speaks to something bigger that a lot of people listening to this can understand. Like this could have been David's villain origin story, and it could
Mm,
have turned a different direction. You know what I mean? But
mm,
because he was a bigger person and uh what saw things for what they were, he didn't take them too seriously and like lash out. You know what I
mm.
mean? Like it went to where now, okay, yeah, you had some struggles and bumps on the way, but now you're a father. You seem to embrace life and be at peace. At least that's how you appear or come across to me right now. And so I would say that's a win. Because a lot of people don't do that. They don't ever get over it. And we have a lot of violence in schools, when people can't fit in or they feel othered or rejected or whatever you want to call it. So that's yeah, man. I wasn't expecting it to go this way. I really wasn't, man. I'm thrown right now. Someone else asked a question. I need to reset.
I have a
All
question.
right,
but
all right.
sandbag
So
questions. I'll
go
get
ahead.
some later.
I have a question. You spoke about coming from private school to high school, the transition of your friend core, um, Ebonics, knowing the dialect, how people were talking, because we did have a lot back then. You spoke about your weight. Was it I guess I'm trying to phrase it correctly. Was it people demeaning you pertaining to your weight as a whole, or certain individuals in school like, oh, you're big, why are you that big? Or was it just a name calling? Because there was a lot of people at Atlantic, so I can't think it was the overwhelming majority that was cracking jokes on you pertaining to your weight.
No, it all stemmed from me. It wasn't like I had the hardest time with my weight. Um, with because I still, as big as I was, I'd get on a hydro slide behind the boat. As big as I was, I'd still play baseball or
Yep.
run down and try to play basketball with you guys. So it was not the physical aspect of it. It was more or less uh, cultural. See, I came from the side of the side of the schools that would go to the beach and let's go suntan and let's go play volleyball at the beach. Well, because that's the age that we just got to, where high school is, and then we could ride our bikes to the beach by ourselves, stuff like that, or get dropped off at the beach. That's the age that we were hitting. And the reality is, can't go to the beach. What am I going to do? Go out there, take my shirt off, suntan, hobble around? You know what I mean? So I took it as more or less it's my weight kind of shut down my social activities, my social life, my direction of where and what I wanted to do. I had to build, I had to start picking and choosing where I can and can't go.
Right.
So that's where I think a lot of it came from.
Okay. I have another question. You spoke about drinking and not getting sober until you were 33. When did you start drinking excessively?
I started drinking late. I didn't start drinking until probably 22.
Is there any particular reason that you started drinking around that age?
Isolation. Isolation from the social group, because you got to remember, at that age is when it happens where, all right, Bruno's been off to the
You're gonna have to define Bruno because nobody knows who Bruno is.
Raynell has Bruno is what we've called Raynell from high school.
It's actually Raynell, but thank you. All right.
Yeah. But you know, he'd been gone. That was his second year. Frankie was slammed in the restaurant. Turner, everybody, they went to college.
Mm-hmm.
And then I started hanging out a lot with Philip, Rennell's younger brother. And Eddie was at PBC playing ball. So it's like, I wasn't going to go hang out at the parties. I couldn't fit in the submarine with Bruno. You know, this kind of thing. So it's like, what
I can't get through the hatch. Hey, you
So-
funny.
at the end of the day, it's like, what do I do now? So I started going to work. I'd start staying at work later just to see if I started just doing a different, like more money, more work. And then I would be around a little older crew of workmates and they'd say, well, come up to the bar after and shoot pool and blah, blah, blah. And then I'd go up there, but I never really drank. You know, I never drank in high school. Every once in a while I would drink type things, but you know, I never drank. And then I started social drinking and then I'd go home and it just became, you know, go home, drink, and then chill. So it was, I picked up a lot of fishing. Back then I was doing a lot of bridge fishing and snook fishing and stuff, but then what? You go home and watch TV. So it was, my social life went to drinking. That's what happened.
Let me ask you, did one day you just look up and like it was years later and you realize, wow, I'm drinking like every day when I'm not with people, when I'm with people? Like, how did you come to an understanding that maybe, well, let me ask you this. Are you an alcoholic?
No.
Okay. Have you ever gone to like AA or anything of that nature? Or you just put down the bottle?
No, I went to treatment. I got 15 years clean, but I don't
Okay.
Good
I
for
don't
you.
consider myself an alcoholic though.
Okay. What made you put the bottle down?
Treatment.
Well, not the treatment. What made you say I need to go to treatment to change my life? Was it something, a
yeah.
kid? Was it a girl? Was it
It was
yourself?
my mom. It was my mom.
Wow.
Yeah, it was my mom. So, just a backstory on why and the reason I went to treatment. So I started drinking a lot, and I was coming home hammered, and I was living back at my mom's at this point, and it would be, I'd come in late, staggering, whatever, go straight to my room, finish off some more, and I'd black out. So then I'd get back up at 8, go to work, get done with my work by 3. I start drinking again after work, and then I'd pick up a bottle on the way home or stop by the little hole in the wall bar, drink 4 or 5 drinks, get a bottle, go home and just drink. So she was getting real concerned with me driving all the time, drinking. She'd start, you're drinking too much, you're drinking too much, you're drinking too much. And because I was a blackout drinker, I would come home, I'd power drink until I passed out.
Damn.
Yeah, and I got to roughly a handle a day from 3 o'clock to when I blacked out. And she was getting really concerned because alcohol, we had some alcoholics in our family, or people that drank too much. So I said, okay, Mom, I'll let me start chilling out. So the real story is my mom was pushing it and she was crying at nighttime. And you guys know me with family that like, even like how I used to try to protect my siblings and stuff. But when my mom cries, lights out, I'm done. I got to fix it. And that was with any problem that mom ever had. So one night she's like, David, that's it. I'm taking you to treatment. You got to go in, dry out. You got to change. And she started crying and crying. I said, Ma, deal. Let's go. Whatever you got to do, just stop crying. Next morning, I woke up and there was a duffel bag at my front bedroom door. And I was like, the fuck is this? Because obviously I don't remember. She's like, you said you're going to treatment. Let's go. Get in the car. So at this point, I was working at my dad's shop, and I was basically the one in control of getting everything done. Jobs coming in, jobs coming out. So I was like, all right, fuck it. Let's go. I didn't know anything about it. You know, and we're right there in the smack of Delray where they have these government treatment plans and every facilities and stuff. And I didn't know anything about it. So I was like, let's go. So we get in there, we go to lunch. Mom was like, let me take you to lunch, calm you down. Let's go see your dad, say goodbye, because you got to go in and dry out for a few days. Well, my grandmother had passed. And during that conversation of my mom, she's like, look, when you get out, I'll give you your $20,000, your inheritance. I said, shit, you can't get me there fast enough. Let's go. So we went to DAF. I don't know if you're familiar with DAF, but it's the Drug Abuse Foundation right there on Swenton and Delray. And when we walked in, at this point, it was like 3:00. And what I know now that I didn't know then was I was detoxing. As I walked in there, they're like, your blood pressure's too high. I can't take you. So I also suffer from white coat syndrome, having anxiety. So I was like, okay, let me go outside and smoke a cigarette, increase my blood pressure more and calm me down. So I did that. 10 minutes later, I walked back in. My blood pressure was fine after the cigarette and all. And they said, okay, you're on a waiting list. You have to wait here till the bed opens. So I understood. We were sitting there for about an hour and a half. And I was like, Mom, you know, at this point I was really wanting a drink. And I said, Mom, let's just give it hell tomorrow. And she said, nope, the deal is your money for treatment. I said, fuck it, let's go. Well, once it was about 4:15 and there was a sheriff pulled up with obviously a drug couple, a female and a male, and they had to drag him out. And you could tell she was rough and he was even rougher. And they're dragging him in there and court ordered police. They get first drive at these places. So they got put in. They're like, ma'am, you got to wait. You're going to have to wait about another hour. So I looked at my mom. I said, Mom, you really going to put your baby boy in this facility? Are you serious? She's like, you know what? Hang on. So she made a phone call. I didn't know what was going on. There was a place. She goes, okay, I'm taking you to detox. I said, let's go. Went to a facility. It's called Transformations in Delray. I walked in there. They said, okay, we're going to take you straight to detox. That's all I knew. I'm going to detox. So I get in the van. We're leaving. And mind you, I was still working at this time. So I had a couple grand in my pocket. I told the detox guy, I was like, look, bro, pull over. Let me stop at the bar. I'll give you $1,000. He's like, son, it's not worth me. I'm going to take it and save your life. And I'm thinking in the beginning, I'm like, bro, you're full of shit. So I counted my money out. There was like $1,900. And I was like, bro, pull over to the bar and I'll give you $1,900, everything in my pocket. He said, what are you going to drink with? I said, trust me, I'll run a tab. I pay the electric bill in this fucking place. So he wouldn't stop. He would not stop. So after that, we went to this detox place. I sat in there for 5 days and detoxed. We get out and I meet my mom back at the facility. And she's got a duffel bag. I said, I'm sober. Let's go home. She says, no, they're going to keep you here for a week. So she said, yeah, you have to stay for a week to complete the program. I said, no. She started crying. I said, fuck, where do I go? So I went in there for a week, and I didn't really take any of the people talking serious because I'm not a drug addict. I'm only an alcoholic, right? So I don't listen to anybody. I just sit in the class, mind my damn business, and go back and forth to the center, to the housing. And so I told her, I said, when I'm done, I want my money. She's like, deal. So the week ends Friday. I'm telling everybody I'm out this motherfucker. I'm going home, everything. And I go to the office where my mom is, and this bitch has another duffel bag. I said, Mom, what's going on? She slid a check across the counter, and I didn't know how much treatment was. She slid a check over for $10,000, and the security guard guy starts walking up to me. I said, okay, everybody pause. And right then, my mom started crying because she knew I was about to lose it. I said, everybody pause. And the lady went to grab the check. I said, man, I don't touch that check. And the security guard starts getting mouthy. So I jumped the desk, grabbed the check as big as I was, jumped back. My mom's losing her mind at this point because she knows I'm going to jail. I said, Mom, what is this check for? She goes, that's the balance of your treatment. I said, balance? I said, how much was the fucking deposit? She said, $15,000. I said, oh, wait, hold on. She said, David, that's all the money that was in your inheritance. You can throw it away and leave with me right now, or you can stay here and complete this program. So they got the check, and we were kind of in a limbo, and I didn't know what to do at that point. But then the old Dave snaps in. And I said, okay, well, if my money's gone, y'all motherfuckers gonna put me up for the next 3 weeks. Let's rock and roll. So now I was mad at everybody. So the next week I was there, obviously I saran wrap people's toilets, turned off the electric to the complex, turned the cable out, you know, just shit that I knew how to do outside. I shut the water off to the building, like just shit that I knew how to do. And they came to me on that Friday and they said, we're gonna have to kick you out. I said, kick me out? He says, yeah. I said, well, give my money and you can send me home. They said, we can't give you money. I said, then you ain't kicking me out. So we had a little back and forth. So then the third week we were in there, I found a cell phone, started making calls because it's right in Delray. And all these kids are from out of state. So I had a barbecue dropped off. I had the boys driving by throwing cell phones. So then they came back in. They said, we're going to throw you out. Here's your discharge papers.
Oh,
Okay, we lost David there for a second.
we lost David. He was getting good.
It was very good. I had some
Yeah.
follow-up questions for him. He might come back on. Do we need to invite him back on?
You should be able to click the same link that Renell sent him.
Okay.
But text him that right now.
Yeah, go ahead and text
But
him.
it seems like he's still there.
Yeah, maybe it's just a bad connection. But anyway, I don't know if
I
you
was
guys
just going to crack a Heineken in front of him. I was like, damn, maybe I shouldn't do this. You know? Oh, shit. I'm being serious.
I'm so glad you didn't.
Getting ready for game day. I literally went to the. I was like, hang on, this dude was just talking about
I
giving.
was wondering why you went off camera, because I went off camera because I'm checking myself like, damn, I'm hot. Like this story is like making me sweat. Like I feel bad, and so I had to check myself. But anyway, I looked up Delray Beach, Florida is known, and this is back in August of 2023. Delray Beach, Florida is known as the rehab capital of the United States. Did you guys know this?
Fuck?
Yeah, let me read this to you. Due to its high concentration of drug rehabilitation centers,
No, you broke off.
addiction
You're
treatment
in the black right now.
Mute
So
right
what
now?
you do is you just turn it off and then come back in.
I'll mute him because he don't know what he's doing. Hold on. There we go. So let me repeat what I was saying. So Delray Beach, Florida is known as the rehab capital of the United States due to its high concentration of drug rehabilitation centers, addiction treatment facilities, and a thriving recovery community.
Wow, never knew that.
Yeah, yeah. So as he's saying this, I'm like,
the-
damn. Thank you. What was his name? Runel? Oh man.
Ruru?
Ruru? I don't know. I never heard. But I wanted to know what options. So he's right. Everyone kind of went their own way. Like I always knew it was never even an option. I had to go to college. Or my
Right.
mother would kill me. So there he is. He's back.
He's coming.
There you go. All right, good to go.
We don't see
Yeah,
him
but
though.
you're still not showing up. What's going on with your camera? Is your phone dead?
All right, give me a second. Hold on. There he is.
There you go.
Now we just got to invite him in.
He's invited. Yeah, he's in there.
You
Yo,
can hear us, David?
Can you hear us? Renell will just edit this out later.
Yes,
Well, we're
master.
live either way. It's cool.
Yes, master.
Can't hear him.
Can you hear
Well,
us, David?
It was a very interesting story.
Long as shit, but it was interesting.
Yeah, I can't say there was any like.
But you can't
Boring
cut him
part.
off because you're like, damn, what happened next?
Yeah, exactly. Right? Like, yeah. Yeah, man.
Is he backstage?
Dang, David, get your shit together. All right. I wanted to ask about his family, because I don't know if you guys knew his sister Tina.
Yeah.
Okay. What's the hell that's supposed to mean? I don't know
What
who
do
you
mean?
know. I don't know who you know. Okay, then just say yes. Anyway, she couldn't have been any more different from Dave. She was always so nice to me. Like, will
She's
go
very
out of
nice.
her way to be nice. I was like, God damn, how are you related to this dude? So anyway, I just wanted to see what she was up to, how she's doing.
Yeah, we talked about her before the stream, and I told
Oh, yeah?
David, because I was mean. I was kind of mean to her when we were younger
Why?
because I was young and dumb. Just to be
Mm.
honest, wasn't even
Huh.
a reason, bro. But I actually told David, like, I've been alive for 50 years. And your sister is probably one of the most authentic, nice people I've met in my life.
Yeah. Seriously, like when I think back to Atlantic and like some of the nicest people I met, she's at the top of that list, man. She very, very sweet person. And so it's not surprising how loving and like fiercely loving his mother was towards him, because it
Yeah.
sounds to me like, you know, Tina may have gotten that from their mom. So
Yeah.
yeah, man.
Tina,
I mean,
shout out to you if you're listening to this.
yeah, for sure. I was inspired by that. You know, I don't think my mom would have worked that. She probably would have given up halfway through.
Get your ass out.
Yeah, that would have been it. Figured it out. But
W
you know,
mom. W mom.
yeah, no, for real. But you know, in terms of like options after high school, it was just college. Like that, like it was drilled into me from the moment I could speak. It was, you know, you're going to college, right?
Mhm.
Add a stage.
Here he
See,
comes.
yeah. Okay. Renell may get his wish. We may have to switch platforms. Renell's going to blame StreamYard.
Oh, it's probably just where he's at. I don't know if he's on Wi-Fi or
Maybe he uses Cricket wireless.
Metro.
Don't
And
use
Nokia.
Cricket. Yeah, don't use Cricket or Nokia. Oh yeah,
I said
Yeah.
Nokia.
I knew what you meant. I corrected for you. Damn, he took the fire out of me, man. I was ready to come in hot.
Hey, but
I
I
was
will
like-
say this. Well, hey, interesting story to people out there. I guess some people seek help. Some people have people governing over them or guarding them, and is looking to help the person that they love. In this case, his mother.
Not you hear me?
Yeah,
Yeah, you're
there you
good.
go.
You're good.
Not bad for figuring out the Wi-Fi.
There you go.
Wait, now let me tell you.
Hold on.
Did you?
We were doing
Go
a
ahead.
summary. Go ahead,
Go ahead.
Jermaine.
Oh, okay, yeah. Just to be serious, some people have people that look out for them. In this case, David's mom, W mom. Some moms would have just kicked their kids out, like find it out on your own.
Yep.
So, hey man, when you have a mom that'll do that for you, look, it wasn't about the money for her. It might have been about the money for you to a certain extent, David. But she was
Right.
like, I'll make this promise for you as long as it keeps my son alive,
Right.
and I'll break the fucking promise. You know,
Yeah.
technically she gave you the money. It's just, hey, the money had to pay for this fucking.
Spend it for me
Service.
too.
I'm gonna be real. Yeah, I don't think my mom would have slid any check across. Then no, I don't think so. So you definitely got a good one, man. That's great. Inspiring story.
Yeah, so it was a W all along, and I met that therapist, and I just started talking to him. And then when I started talking, he just kind of pointed out my faults. and then I just learned on them from there.
You've been sober ever since you left there? Any drawbacks? Any? Wow.
Nah.
Congrats to you, brother.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
That's an uplifting story.
Yeah. And I mean, that's where I started getting into the substance abuse field, because when I was sitting in there and I'm seeing all the people that would leave and come through the process, I started counting dollars. And I said, when I get out, I'm opening up one of these things. 3 years
Well,
after, 3 years after I was sober, I opened one.
So did you know that Delray was considered the rehab capital of the world, or of the US at least?
I did once I got into the field. I figured it out real fast. And that was only because everybody says that, and it's what thing, since I'm from Delray, I always try to protect, Delray. But it was not Delray that had anything to do with that title. It was Google.
Oh.
Yeah. Google would allow, it was cheap marketing, and it was right at the time when treatment centers started getting popular. So the ad spend started getting expensive. And that's when people started triggering Google for Florida. And the whole trick is that who doesn't want to come to Florida, on a vacation?
Right.
It was
So-
Google that blew that up.
So that's what you do. I missed that. If you talked about it in the beginning. So what is it you're doing now for work?
Right now, nothing.
Oh,
I opened up a treatment center, and I ran that for about 5 years. And then, to be honest, I quit believing in substance abuse treatment, and I started looking into mental health. And it makes a lot more sense, because in the program, it teaches you drugs and alcohol are not our problem, it's our solution. So I'm not going to keep telling a kid that fix something that isn't his problem. I wanted to get to a solution. What is your problem? And that's why I started going mental health, because if drugs and alcohol is not my problem, it's my solution. What is my problem? Well, my problem is myself. The way I view the world. And when I got into mental health, I opened up, actually, I went and got my license for APD, American Person with Disabilities. And I started American Person with Disability license and group homes. Then when I figured out I can't go after my own clientele, it came through the social workers that I didn't want to be regulated in my own business. So I went to, they call it an RTF. It's called the Residential Treatment Facility for Mental Health. And that's when I opened up a residential treatment facility house. And it worked for a little bit. Then I took a deal with some partners that just didn't pan out. I didn't really exist with, and I just kind of shut everything down, because I didn't want to keep moving at that point in the direction they wanted to move. Because for me, it wasn't really about the money. It was about making it a purpose. Because with the substance abuse, treatment centers, you make a killing, and it's a large amount of money. And I saw that money come in and out, and at the end of the day, it didn't impress me, because I'm still the same asshole I was to Jamal and Rennell, and I hated Jermaine, so it was like...
No, okay. So let's go a little lighter. Let's go a little lighter.
Hey,
why did you hate me?
Hold on a second.
Because you had a slicker tongue than I did. You could talk faster than I could. You crack back a lot faster.
I can see that.
Okay.
Jermaine is unmatched at being an asshole. That is
That's true.
Ah!
That's fair.
unmatched. Unmatched. Yeah.
I always liked David, though, man. I will say that. I always liked David, bro.
Same thing with Jay. I always thought it was good people. I just didn't know. Like, again, same thing with Jamal. I had nothing to do. I had no reason to hate Jamal except for jealousy. And it's like, that's the stupidest thing in the world to, I don't know. Now knowing, you don't know that when you're a kid struggling.
Yeah.
Well, for the record, I didn't like David, and I still don't like David. So just let you know.
I can agree with that.
So I also missed this part of the conversation. I knew your sister Tina from high school, and I was just saying to them while you were off how she was like the sweetest person to me, like just always encouraging and very nice and all this and that. And when you talk about your experience with your mom, I can see where she must have gotten that from because your mom sounds amazing. So just really quick, what's she been up to, and do you still have a good relationship with her? Like what's going on
Yeah,
with that?
yeah. Me and my sister, like, you know, Bonnie and Clyde, still. Um, she still does. She went and got her hygienal for a while, hygienal license, and then started doing some of that, and then just kind of she stepped up with the family real heavy when it came time. Once I shut my business down, she was working for me for a while, or with the family, and we shut all that down. And my grandmother got sick, so she kind of aided my grandmother. And then after that, my father got sick. She aided with that. Now my mom's getting old, so it's kind of like Tina for the last 12 years has been kind of the family caretaker.
Just helping everybody. That's on brand for Tina though.
Yeah,
That makes sense. Yeah.
and she works, full time. She still does nails like she used to back in high school, and she's got a decent clientele, and so she has to work and pick up. But yeah, she's good people.
Yeah, for sure. Polar opposite, I always said, but now I'm not too sure. I think you were just dealt a bad hand, man.
Yeah.
I wasn't expecting this. I wasn't.
Well, I think you know what. I think this is a good podcast because it shows when you're young how not impressionable, but how you look at different relationships. Like he was saying, he had a core. The core was what he saw or how he viewed it was interrupted. Some disdain might have been there, didn't know how to handle it, didn't know how to have a conversation. Um, so some shots were fired in one direction or the other. Got older, realized people move away, things change, nothing remains the same forever.
Mhm.
Went on a little bender with the alcohol, fought back, had a good mother in his life.
Yeah,
And, well, let me ask you this as far as the businesses you open up. Um, in the height of your business, how much money did you see approximately
here we go.
for that genre of business with recovery and mental health and things of that nature?
Because Jermaine's interested in diversification. That's why he's.
I guess without pinpointing a dollar amount, because I also was like Post Malone at the strip club. I mean, I would get a $10,000 brick. The shoes of Gucci's and everything else. So my habits of spending were ridiculous. Um, I would say in the height of it, I had a business. I had two businesses in the height of it. I also had another business with, sorry, I shouldn't say that just in case. I had a friend that had a business that processed 39 million in 4 years that I was close to. I had a treatment business that I was lucky to touch probably close to 1 million with receivables. And then I had about 1 million worth in real estate. And that was the height of it. That's basically where I could put my height that I've tried to reach and obtain.
Yeah,
It's a good story, man.
yeah, it
Hey,
is.
And today I'm broke, so I mean that's an even better part of the story.
money comes and go, brother. You still got your
It,
family. Kids
it does
healthy?
it all day long, and that's
You
all you can
good.
ask.
You good.
You
That
know,
means you're good.
the funniest thing is when I'll go into a meeting. I've opened up treatment centers for other people. I've helped them out with their paperwork and licensing and stuff like that. But and the funniest part about this is I'll still go into meetings because people will know who I am, what I can do, and they'll ask me, well, can we do this? Can we do that? And it's the people that know me now. I always make a comment that I tell them I got a pool and kids at home. I don't want to do it. Can I go open up? A year ago, I opened here. Case in point, I opened up a treatment center for somebody. They were failing. I got their paperwork and their compliance back together. Got them accredited with the insurance companies. Staff top to bottom, 24-hour. And when I was there, we turned them to around $700 a month. Was their,
700,000 a month.
Yeah, was their billing. Obviously, you don't collect that. You're going to gain around 42% of that profit. But I turned their numbers that high monthly, and then we kind of fell out, and I just walked away from it. So I've learned that making money is the easiest thing in the world. It's how you live your life, because money is not important. So nowadays, I just sit down, man. I'm helping support my wife on her esthetician business. She's got her own spot now, and it's doing well for the second year that she's at it. But living paycheck to paycheck, because everything I had was kind of got me to this point. And now I raise babies and playing with them in the pool. Money is not a drive of my life anymore. And it won't be. I don't care how much paper they put in front of me on the table and everything else. I make the joke about it. I have a swimming pool at home. I don't give a shit. There's been a couple things that we're starting to set up and starting to look into that I'm trying to drive towards. And one of them's the adolescent mental health that I'm trying to build a program for. So basically, I like to hunt. I like to get it done. I just don't like the ongoing business, emails, that kind of stuff that makes your business thrive.
So you like to do the startup process, but then once it's running, you like to cash out and move on to the next.
Yeah. Or not even cash out, walk away.
Well, they call that venture capital, man. So just something to think about.
Well, if my education wasn't past the 6th grade reading level, I might be a little better, but
I understand, but that's all that is, man. VC.
Yeah.
That's interesting. Okay.
Well, I know Renell want to say something. Renell been quiet. I know he itching to go. Go ahead, Renell. What? Go ahead. What? Wait, I'm sorry. Go ahead. Inner peace.
Yes, no, but I actually, you've answered a lot of the questions I was going to jump into. I don't know if you want to jump, or actually we'll save that one. So what comes to mind immediately? There's a question that I like to ask those guests that kind of, are from, back in the high school days. And I think this one would be right on point with you as well, David. So the question's as follows. If you go back to your 16-year-old self, what one piece of advice, knowing now what you know, would you tell him?
that's probably the toughest question, because think about this as you ask that question. Think about Back to the Future. If Marty McFly goes back and changes something, from that point on, everything changes. Look at how many people knew Big Ace back in the day, and how little
For
I
the
knew about
audience, Big Ace is David Cox.
Sorry. Yeah, that's the Punk Cut 16. But think about how many people knew me. If I didn't know you, you still knew who I was, because you were either going to be told to stay away from me, I'll steal your things, or I'm just a jerk, or a few things that bad traits that I picked up. Just think of the ripple effect. I mean, hell, just think about it. I mean, we might not be sitting here at this point if I changed anything. Would Jamal be so successful if it wasn't for me? I doubt it. So, joking, Jamal, joking.
Yeah,
But you see what I'm saying. You see what I'm saying.
Got this, Jay?
So, would I correct anything? I don't think I would, because kids are going to have to go through this, and kids will go through this. But it's how you learn from it. It took me a longer lesson in learning, because I was an alcoholic, shut down, and just dealt with it my way. other kids develop a little different than I do. So the reality is there a need for bullying? No. But is there a need to learn boundaries? Yes. And are we going to learn them when we're a kid? I mean, look at our school systems. Look at the ratio of single parents. Look at the ratio of charter schools popping up in minority cities. It's a huge character builder for adolescents that are taught how to deal with this instead of learning how to deal with this. Now, if I was taught differently, I wouldn't have done a lot of this. But me growing up and you guys saying, what would you change? I don't know what I would change because I protected myself the best way that I could and the best way I knew how. So would I change anything? No, I don't know the outcome. So that's a lot of reason why I don't.
The question, yeah, that's a good response. But I think if you could, what piece of advice would you give yourself back then as a 16-year-old David Cox, aka Big Ace?
Well, I think he answered the question.
Kind of, but what he's looking for is like, he's looking for me to say something, which I would just tell myself that understand my thinking patterns and get to know why my thinking pattern. I would make myself understand myself a little more. I would tell myself, look into yourself of why you're doing this and don't be afraid. I guess the answer would be don't be afraid. Because
Awesome.
I would
I
tell,
love that.
I wouldn't have been afraid to tell J-Dog that he's hurting my feelings, or I wouldn't be afraid to tell Jamal I'm hurting your feelings just because I don't like you. So it's like that kind of stuff. And when I got older, I think I have maybe one regret. I don't want to really say his name because I think I hit a nerve with him when we had a conversation about it. But we had a mutual friend that was getting married. And we were all at a party together. And we were all hanging out. And this, the friend kind of looked at me like, they were all talking about the wedding coming up. And I'm sitting out there just not engaged in the conversation. But I'm sitting right next to the dude. So he turns to me and he's like, hey, Ace, I really wanted to invite you, but I only had so many seats, try to give me some story. And I was like, why would you invite me? And he was set back. And he said, what do you mean? I said, well, we were never friends. And we weren't, now that I understand this. Yeah. But I think I hurt his feelings because he didn't understand. At that point in my life, I started understanding friends and acquaintances. But he took it like I was just being a complete jerk. But the reality is we weren't friends, because I can sit back and say, me and J-Dog were never friends. We were great acquaintances. We had fun in high school. Me and Jamal, we weren't friends. Not because I was such an asshole, but the reality is, Jamal, we didn't have much in common. You see what I mean? Now that looking at it as adults.
Yeah, being objective about it. Yeah.
Right. So if, that's like me turning to you and saying, why didn't you invite me to your wedding?
Right.
So when this guy looked at me like some sympathy thing, I wanted to explain to him, look, man, you're not going to hurt anybody's feelings. Then I'm not going to your wedding. And we weren't friends.
Yeah. Pretty much in a certain kind of way, you're telling him, bro, it's cool. I understand. We're good.
Yeah. Like you don't even need to explain that to me, buddy. And if you feel the need, then you can say something maybe that you thought we were friends or something. I don't know how you look at it, Mike, but I didn't he was set back from it. I wasn't. I thought that, the newer me is understanding of people's feelings and stuff like that. But, people need to realize, and a lot of the youth needs to realize, you don't have friends in high school over 5-6 people.
Yeah.
I would actually attest to that.
That's fair.
I would attest to that.
Any number past that is not really,
Yeah, you don't. Because
yeah.
And when you attest it, I can understand you attesting it, but People need to understand what a friend is.
Yeah.
And I didn't know what it was either. And I thought I was a friend by doing things that my friends would say or being there for them. But then when they're not there for you, it's like, well, is that still your friend? You know, friends don't lose contact. Like, even all these years, I still will, out of the nowhere, for some reason, just shoot Bruno a jab on the text message, like, you know, just to crack a joke or something, just to say, hey, man, I love you. You know what I mean? So it's like, you create bonds with people. Those are your friends. You don't create bonds with more than 5 people in high school. You just
Yeah.
Well,
Ditto,
I
young
think-
man, ditto.
I think that's a great spot to bring this episode to a close. But you know, David, I just want to say, first off, appreciate everything you shared with us this afternoon. It was eye-opening, sobering for me. You sound like a wise sage. You've been through some shit, and for the better. It sounds like it seems like you came out a better man because of it, and I can see why you wouldn't want to change anything because it brought you to where you are today. So tip my hat to you. I really do. I appreciate that. I appreciate your openness and your willingness to share everything, not just the good but the bad as well. And that takes some bravery. So just want to say thank you to you and for your time today. So
thank you.
yeah, absolutely. So I don't know if you were on social or not, but if you are, can you just share with our audience how they can reach out to you if they just want to follow up about therapy, rehab, or just want to say what's up to you?
I'm not on social, but I'm still in Delray. You can find me.
Fair enough. All right.
Reach out through your podcast. Renell will get at me.
There it is. All right. And Renell, where can our people find you?
Hold on, I got to correct David. David, it's pronounced Ray Nell. Please, when in doubt, refer to Jermaine Jackson. He knows how to pronounce my name. Thank you very much.
That's his fault. But at the end of the day, Junior, I couldn't even spell
Get your
right now.
shit right.
So it's gonna be Runo anyway. I'm not.
All right, man.
But I do want to say one thing. I want to say that I've gotten on the podcast to see you guys. I know last week I was cracking a couple jokes, whatever. But in reality, it's great to see somebody like J-Dog really turn it over, really do what he's doing. Jamal, it's great to see your success story. Married, with kids. Never thought that would happen, but no, just kidding. Just a jab. Respectfully, I appreciate you, and as a man, I apologize for the differences that we had in high school. I've always had respect for you, Jay. And obviously, Bruno, you started out a scumbag and you be a scumbag. But at the end of the day, I still love you. So I do want to tell you guys, I'm impressed by your podcast. I do see how you guys shaped in the men, and it's awesome. It's awesome to see that from you guys. And especially Jay. Who would have thought J-Dog would have ever been able to stand up correctly? But at the end of the day, at the end of the day, I do respect you guys, what you're doing. It does look like a lot of fun. You guys, I've been going through your past videos, and it's inspiring. You guys really know how to capture an audience, and I wish the best for this podcast because you guys really do touch on what every man wants: the old remix, the old spark from high school, the old turning into a man type deal. I mean, that's men being men, and I really honor you or appreciate that you guys are brave enough to do this, and it's awesome. It's awesome.
Thank you.
You had it right. You can honor us too. That's good.
I got one last question.
Yeah,
I got one last question. It's off topic, but so you have 3 of us here, David. If you can say in 3 words what you remember from us 3 in our adolescent years, or describe us, it doesn't have to be 3 words.
Oh, sheesh.
In our adolescent years, how would you describe each 3 of us, or all 3 of us?
Each one of us.
One at a time, each one of us.
English is his second language. Yeah.
What I always saw from Jamel, and that's why I maybe picked on him a little more, Jamal, was
You can go in. It's okay.
Yeah, be yourself, man.
I can't, because the reality is comfortability. I don't know how much I dug on this dude to really hurt his feelings and everything, but he never flipped a script and thought about it. I mean, he always kept his cool. He was always collective, and it's like, you know, you could look at somebody and be like, man, that dude has his shit together. You know, he's gonna be something. And it's maybe a lot of the jealousy was that because you know, somebody that had it, it was. I always respected him for that because you couldn't. Now I might have cut the wound deep, obviously, when I hurt his feelings, but he never showed it. Tell the truth. I mean,
He did a great job of kind of, you know,
100%
taking it. Yeah,
I kept
And
that
was-
shit inside, but to my detriment, because
Yes.
it caused problems elsewhere that no one else saw. So that's another discussion. But
Okay, so he was stoic beyond his years at that young age.
You could tell. Very proper, very
Okay.
stoic. Yes, great work.
But you know what's funny? I met a lot of other black people just like me who would speak, I'll just say speak proper when I went to FAMU. And that kind of helped validate me as a person. And because I'll say for the long time, I was like, what's wrong with me? How come I'm not like anyone else and this, that, and the other? There's HBCUs full of people just like me. And I needed that. And so, you know, I think that helped me on my journey. But I get it. No, go ahead. I mean to cut you off. Go ahead.
All right, what about what do you call him? Ronald?
Oh, Jesus. Who?
Bruno.
Renell. Okay. Bruno.
What would I say about him?
Yeah, adolescent years. What do you remember? Brief description.
Just
Just
I could say
Yep.
now, understanding strong confidence. Right or wrong, very confident in himself.
okay.
Nice.
All right.
And
All
what
right.
about me, I guess?
Here we go.
Lazy.
Wow.
There it is.
Okay.
Don't,
In what
don't,
way?
don't ask a question you don't want to hear the answer to.
Shit.
I think you could have been a lot better than what you were on the field.
Ooh.
I think, not that you weren't good. What I'm saying is, I think you could have been something. I think you could have. You were one of the guys that still had decent grades on the team. I think if you would applied yourself a little more, I think you. I mean, look at your, and I'm not saying this in any sexual content, but look at back then. Look at your physique. Look at your natural ability. I mean, I thought you could have been great. There's a few of them that I could still, you know, even if I pointed them out. But the reality is, I think you. I mean, look at yourself, Jermaine. Do you think you applied 100%?
No, definitely not.
And if you did, you would have been a monster.
I definitely would have been better, way better
So,
than I was.
The lazy part of it, I looked at it as, this guy's got every piece of talent that I wish I could have, and he just throws it away. Because you got to remember, my pops came back as a running back, all this other stuff, and all I could do was wrestle, and I couldn't play any sports because I never had any grades. So I would look at people like you, like, what a lazy prick. Just lazy.
Love the authenticity. Appreciate
Yo.
that.
Yeah, I
No
love
filter.
the confidence about you. I love the cracking jokes. I learned that you were comfortable. I learned everything else. But at the end of the day, when I look at somebody, that's what you can remember, what I remember.
I'll take it.
Huh.
I'll take it. I wanted to get.
With a grain of salt. You know,
No. Hey, look. Sometimes people need to hear that because guess what? Even from you saying that, and I'm just speaking for myself, it makes me look now. Am I being lazy now? Am I the same person that he remembers? And maybe that puts a fire under my ass. Like, am I going to sit here and watch football all day? Or you know what? Am I going to go jog a mile or work out or do some reports or something of that nature that I need to get handled? So
go get another truck.
good point. Good. Well, I would need another contract for another truck, but I do understand. Right now we're good, but once the contract, then we'll start adding on. You know, we're building steadily. Let's say that.
No, I've heard. You're doing all right. Doing good.
So
I
we're all right.
respect all you guys, man. That's why I wanted to come on to really show you the new guy that you guys know of the old guy. So
We appreciate you, man.
Yeah,
You're
no,
one and the
definitely.
same. You're just a better version of yourself, bro. And
Yeah,
One
I would
love
agree
to
with
you.
that.
Nothing but respect for you for coming on this podcast and sharing. Wish you the best of luck in the future. We're here. You know, you have time, we can bring you back on every now and then. No problem with that.
Of
So
course, give me a shout.
go ahead,
Yeah.
Jamal.
Why is there a white hand on your screen, Jermaine?
A white hand?
Yeah, what the hell does that mean?
Where do you
He's
see a
trying to
white
give me a high
hand?
five.
Anyway, we'll talk about it later. Yeah, just like that. Anyway, Renell, where can people find you on social, man?
Raynell Sa _ J.O. Instagram.
Oh, never mind. That was me. My bad. I was the white hand. Never mind. Forget I said anything.
Your mouse?
Yes, exactly. All right. And where can remember I just woke up an hour ago.
Oh,
Jermaine, where can
shit.
people find you on social, man?
November Montgomery, all platforms, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, wherever you're at, November Montgomery.
All right. And you can
Yes.
find me at Jamal is Good on Blue Sky. Don't know why I'm still on Blue Sky. No one else is. And Instagram. And that's it. That's a wrap for our episode today of the RJ Square podcast where the convo never stops. Thank you, David, for your time today. Appreciate your insight, brother. Wish you nothing but the best. If you vibe with us today, do us a favor. Hit the like button. Drop a comment. We want to hear from you. Subscribe if you missed future episodes. And until the next time, keep it grown, keep it honest. And as always, join the conversation.
Socials. Social screen, please, as you close out.
How about we end it on this screen?
Okay.
There you
all
go.
right.
That's a pimp
Love
right
you,
there.
love you guys. Take it easy, man.
Take care, brother.
All right, brother.
All right, peace.
Peace.